the Thank God It's Friday show, so to speak. So you're all welcome. I am Kemi Foladiemo with Theophilus Elama. It's good to see you here. One of the first faces I'm seeing in the new month.
Happy new month, and it's December. People will say they've gotten to dirty December.
Okay, but I caught some rema this morning about December. You know, the busiest month of the year, the month where you have the most gifts, where the most gifts circulate, where the most money is spent. You know, and we pray that some of those goodies, come our way.
Yes, we pray
and come your way as well this month
true,
of December. Right, good to see you.
Thank you for
All
having
right,
me.
and so a lot before us as usual. It's a packed show as usual this Friday morning. And first, we will be looking at interventions of the Lagos State government, especially the Environmental Protection Agency. That is going tough now on those found to be disturbing the environment in diverse ways. And LASEPA, that's the agency involved now, and that's the agency in the news, has gone on to seal yet another series of buildings, organizations, among them 7 hotels. That's the latest. 7 hotels and a church have been sealed over noise pollution. Well, according to a post by the official X handle of the agency, the affected establishments were sealed for environmental degradation. This development, they said, became necessary after measures put in place to address the identified instances of noise pollution and other environmental transgressions failed. And that's the key word there. We're also looking at the buildings in question that have now been sealed. And apparently the month of November was filled with a lot of, sealings, so to speak, by the LASEPA, that's the agency involved, the Environmental Protection Agency. These buildings were found to be guilty, so to speak, of noise pollution. And it's also interesting that religious houses or religious places of worship were also indicted. Of course, clubs, bars that do all-night shows, also indicted. And another interesting revelation is that this is the fallout of complaints by members of the public. So there is a website, so to speak, by the agency, where members of the public with complaints, cogent complaints, are encouraged to log on to and give, details, the address of the building of, this body in question. And most especially, you must also attach video and audio evidence of the noise in for example, now the noise in question, or if there is some other form of nuisance. But in this question now, there's a portal where you can drop recordings of video and audio recordings of the airing building that you want an intervention from the LASEPA.
No, when I stayed in a particular area where I thought it was Lagos. And just close to the house, we had a church, uncompleted, but the noise was too loud. And I tried to report this same matter, going through this process and all of that. But I realized that there was a demarcation, that one part was Ogun State and the other one was Lagos State. But it's all good, and we see what Lagos State has been doing so far with this intervention, setting up churches and mosques. And we need to realize, and not just that, but even hotels and all of that, we have to realize that you do not own the environment as an individual. You cannot just come outside. In sane societies, you don't come out and put speakers outside and start blaring sounds and expect that people will want to listen. Many people don't want to listen to that. A lot of people just want to get home and rest. Excuse me. Just want to get home and rest. And if these sounds are blaring regularly, then you're depriving them of that. We have our fundamental human rights. And I like the fact that this is not the first time Lagos State government is doing this. They've been doing this every time, but it seems like many people just don't want to listen. And it's good that they are going to the inner areas where these things happen in full measure and trying to bring some form of sanity to the environment, because it's important that we respect the right of other people. If there's a hotel in a state or a residential area, that business should respect the fact that people are staying there and not blare too much sounds outside to disturb the neighborhood. And I think that's very important. And I like what the Lagos State government is doing or has been doing to curtail this. And I think and I believe that many religious houses and businesses will adhere very soon to these directives and take some dressing there.
Absolutely, and what you said earlier on about the areas where these buildings are located. Further information by the agency involves, includes that they're located around Katangua, Ifakojai, Okoba, Agege, Barua, Ianopaja, and Dokwemu, all in Lagos State, of course. And, recently, even before that, there were also raids by LASEPA around, other areas, even on the island. And many residents appear to be very interested on this issue of noise pollution, because many of these places, especially the houses of worship, the places of worship are, of course, sited in residential areas, just as these business entities are also sited within residential areas. And as you've said, we come home to rest. Many people go out to work. Even those people who work from home are also entitled to, their privacy and their sanity. And you're at home trying to, get some breather from the hustle and bustle in the city. You're at home, perhaps with your phone, or trying to watch the TV, and you cannot even comprehend, you can't even, understand what you say, because there is in fact, I checked the website. I saw that many Lagosians, many Lagos residents have also, are even using the expert form of LASEPA to, send videos and audio recordings of, disturbances in their areas. And many of them were even complaining that they had sent complaints long, like a month old.
It means LASEPA is overwhelmed.
Appears to be overwhelmed. That's also, another thing, that this is something that Lagos residents are really interested in. And it's best that the government doesn't appear to only be for some areas. They also need to be on top of their game, across. We all know how Lagos is. It's not such a very big city like that. But then there are so many residents, there are so many buildings. There's the issue of even regulation that is not at par with, the level of development and with the number of residents. There's so much ground that, still needs to be covered. And it's encouraging that government is working, but then it's also expedient that they do more and ensure that their tentacles are spread across the city. Very, very important.
Very, very important. I'm sure with time they will catch up on a lot of these requests. Like just when Lagos used to have frequent building collapses, and we've seen that the relevant agencies had to at a point come together to concretize efforts to ensure that it is totally reduced, and that's what we're seeing right now. Efforts of stakeholders, efforts of the government coming together, private sector to ensure. So I'm sure LASEPA will do the same, because they cannot be everywhere at the same time. But I am sure they will do the same, to meet with other stakeholders, join hands together to be able to curb these kinds of situations. And I like the fact that, like you mentioned, Lagosians are reporting these situations, because everybody's tired. Everybody's tired of the noise pollution out there, and it's important.
And it even has effect on one's health.
Yes, on one's health.
That is also the angle the government is looking at.
It has effect also on the building.
Effects, absolutely.
On the building.
On the building, right. You've covered a number of
cases.
It
has effect on the building. Building collapse. Sometimes it might not just be a structural issue. It might just be that the noise is quite heavy. Over time, it begins to cave in. And they might not know, because you just little by little, before you know it, it's gone. So this needs to be handled quickly.
And only in the news recently, there was a case of a club, somewhere in Lekki, where it was sealed.
Yes.
And then the next day, they went back, removed the seal, and returned to business. LASEPA heard the officials went back there to reseal the place, and then of the staff of that particular hotel, particular club now even went on to assault. That's in the news. We even went on to assault officials, and now they're even in double trouble. Both the owner of the building, the owner of the club, and the airing staff will now be prosecuted. And you can just imagine how it might be a minor offense, but just imagine. But then that's also will serve as a possible deterrent to everyone. So there's a seal on your building. It's best that you understand the gravity of what you have just done, and sit it out until you clear with the government and purge yourself of the crime. so to speak. And it's not just noise. There are so many areas. The issue of, refuse collection and piling in the city is also, a big worry. So we all need to protect our environment. This is something that we cannot, stress enough on. But then we've taken, some time. We've had our first banter, so to speak,